We went over Arnold's goofy Kristallnacht, and I told you about the Reichstag fire, and I said that the press has been constantly lying to you, and I want to give you the opportunity to see which one really matches the narrative. So let's get into the narrative that the press fed you compared to the actual facts of the day. Well, we all heard that 5 people died as a result. Some people were even bold enough to say that they were killed by the protesters, which is just a blatant lie. The smarter ones play games because they know you're lazy and you don't really pay attention to the nuance of words. So they just said they died as a result. So let's go to the different victims we had on this day. Our first death occurred at 10:30 a.m. It was this gentleman here, Benjamin Phillips. This man organized a group to go to the protest. He drove the bus and he went to park, but he had a stroke, so he never joined the party. So that's at 10:30 in the morning, and this is one of the things that's counted as a death from the January 6th riots. Now, I've worked several big events, and if you do incident command, you have to understand any big event, you actually do have these type of medical emergencies. You have paramedics on standby. It's part of the whole incident command. This, having strokes, heart attacks at an event this large, it's not only unusual, it's certainly not caused by a riot, it's expected. It just naturally happens when you have large numbers. This is what happens. An hour and a half after his death, President Trump begins his hour-long speech. So for the clock, jot this stuff down. We have Trump beginning his speech at noon, and his speech is 70 minutes long. Now, the impression the press kind of gave you is that Trump's speech is like right outside the Capitol, and he tells them to storm it, so the people just like go right from where he's speaking and go in and attack the Capitol. It's not the case. Trump's speech was held at a place called the Ellipse, which is actually 2 miles away from the Capitol building. The average person walks 3 to 4 miles per hour, so we're looking at about a half-hour walk from Trump's speech to the Capitol building. So Trump begins his speech at noon, and it's 70 minutes long, so he finishes at 1:10. And if his statements incited a riot, those who incited would have to have arrived around 1:45. Yet, according to records on scene, at 12:53, so in case you don't know the math, that's before 1:45, it's an hour prior, while Trump is still speaking, rioters overwhelmed the police line on the outer perimeter on the west side of the Capitol, and they pushed aside the temporary fencing. So it already began. It has no relation whatsoever to Trump's speech. Some of the protesters immediately follow in. A lot of them initially, if you listen to the recordings, are yelling, "Don't do it, you're breaking the law." So by 1:03, the rioters completely overran 3 layers of barricades, and they forced the police officers to the base of the West Capitol steps. By 1:30, Capitol Police are completely overwhelmed and are forced to retreat up the steps of the Capitol. So, let's pretend Trump is somehow Kang the Conqueror. He's capable of time travel, and and also mind control, and he's actually able to have forced these people retroactively to cause this riot. Let's see the words he actually used that allegedly called for incitement to insurrection. Let's compare that to the words we heard all the Democrats saying prior to that.
And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women, and we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Today we will see whether Republicans stand strong for integrity of our elections, but whether or not they stand strong for our country.
The House manager spoke about rhetoric, about a constant drumbeat of heated language. Well, as I'm sure everyone watching expected, we need to show you some of their own words.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
You got to be ready to throw a punch. You have to be ready to throw a punch.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
I feel like punching him.
I'd like to take him behind the gym if I were in high school.
If we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now.
Okay. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
And you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
People will do what they do.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
We're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the
Well, this is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
At 2:05, we have Kevin Greeson declared dead, also after suffering a heart attack outside on the Capitol grounds, completely unrelated to any riot or any violence. At 2:38, President Trump tweets, "Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful."